I want to talk to you about Facebook groups, but most importantly, the major drawbacks that actually are related to those Facebook groups. So here are the considerations I want you to really think about. First of all, I'm not here to bash Facebook groups at all, but so Facebook groups are great for certain things and not so great for other things. So if you are a coach, if you are a consultant, if you are a community creator, or let's just say a creator in general, there are certain things that you can't really do with Facebook groups. So that's what I want to talk about in today's conversation, okay? Because Facebook groups are great for a lot of things. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to engagement, when it comes to scalability, and when it comes to monetization, Facebook is actually not the place to be. So here are the considerations I want you to think about. Basically, Facebook groups are free, right? So a lot of people have a Facebook account, and it's kind of tempting to think that you could pretty easily get a thriving community together. You can actually make a lot of cash through Facebook. But the thing is that it doesn't happen that way. And on top of that, you don't control the platform. It's not your thing. It's Facebook's thing. It's Facebook platform. So they can actually close your account. They could close your community tomorrow and nothing will happen. Okay. So here are the warnings I want you to pay attention to. First, when you think about Facebook groups, I want you to think about the fact that you have to deal with an algorithm, the Facebook algorithm. And many creators or community leaders have shared a link to their Facebook group on social media and watched as people flooded in, right? 10 members, 15 members, 100 members, 500 members. That's pretty good, right? You're thinking, wow, I'm just banging right now. But see, the thing is that those people who are coming to your page, are they engaged? Because if, for instance, you post, you make a post and you only have a one view or one like, but you have 1,000 followers, that's kind of crazy, right? I mean, see the delta? You have 1,000 followers, but only one view. Nothing happens, no likes, no comments, no happy people saying, hey, thanks. That's because they are not engaged. Number one, the algorithm. Number two, the distractions. Okay. You are trying to create a Facebook group for people to enjoy, and in theory, they will love your post. But you have all kinds of distractions on Facebook, the emojis, the funny gifs, and what have you. So you don't have a very engaged community. When we think about the major disadvantages of Facebook groups, besides the algorithm and the distractions, you also have the lack of monetization. Listen, you're not a creator. You're not creating a community because you like to work for free. You're not a philanthropy. This is a business. So the ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching must come. So if you are joining the creator economy, it's really nice to earn off your work, right? And real community platforms let you build amazing businesses that sell memberships, events, courses, and more. And you got to be able to monetize. Otherwise, you can't survive. I mean, if you want to survive and scale, you got to be able to monetize. So Facebook makes monetization almost impossible, at least natively. While there are a few features like paid online events and subscriptions, they really haven't taken off in a way that rewards creators. On the other hand, a community platform creates a private social network that actually lets you build a real recurring revenue business model around your passion or around a common cause, a cause that you care about, and that others also care care about as well. Another drawback to Facebook groups is actually the fact that you have a set of limited features. Okay, so Facebook group, the group is basically just a shared Facebook wall. You can post content, create polls, and even live stream. That's for sure. But compared to major community platforms, that is not really much. That's something you have to think about. So the best alternatives to Facebook groups will let you build thriving communities with sub discussions, tons of options for engagement and membership, hosting virtual events, and even teaching an online course if this is your plan. See, the thing is that you have a whole host of capabilities when it comes to monetizing your time. See, I want to repeat this once again. You're not a philanthropy. You're not a charity. So your time is worth something. Your time must be actually be monetized, especially if you are trying to scale, if you are trying to create something sustainable, especially when you are thinking about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, with no revenue coming in, you will actually stop real fast. when we think about the major drawbacks of Facebook groups, you really got to think about the notification systems and also the privacy issues. Okay, so let's first talk about the notification systems. So this is actually connected to the algorithm, the all-powerful Meta algorithm. But actually, the notification system in Facebook groups is actually tough to balance. So unlike communities built for a specific purpose, where your members log on because they want to see news from the community, a Facebook group is one of many things on your user's feed, right? This means what? It means that for some, there will be too many notifications. For others, there will not be enough. It depends on the settings that they have. It depends on their the settings they have in their account. Users can choose their level of notification, but by default, they will only see highlights. This means what? It means that Facebook chooses what to show them and Facebook is a business, and Facebook will prioritize what they can show them that will actually help Facebook derive more revenue. So if your users are in 20 groups, which a lot of folks are, Facebook will decide when they get notified about yours. So you can see that you have no control really. Okay, you're not controlling your own thing. Facebook is. Then you also have the privacy issues. So even if you can get past the stuff that I just told you a little earlier in terms of notification, one of the biggest drawbacks to Facebook groups that's becoming more of an issue with each passing year is the fact that you have to deal with privacy issues, okay? And after it was discovered that Facebook was being used for disinformation in an attempt to sway election campaigns, people were understandably upset. On top of that, you have regulators, you have legislators, you have members of Congress also stepping in, trying to really regulate the whole thing. So after everything from disinformation to whistleblowers talking about the negative effect on the platform, more and more people are boycotting Facebook. So if you are trying to bring members together and you got a platform that people refuse to use, that's a huge disadvantage. Even if 5% or 10% of your members refused to join because the community was on Facebook, would it be worth it for you to lose people, especially when there are much better alternatives? Another drawback when it comes to Facebook groups, you have the lack of branding options. You can't really brand, and that's crazy. I mean, think of it. You are trying to build a business, and you have to always go by the color blue that Facebook has. That's crazy. So if you launch your Facebook group and you have added your image or logo to the profile pic and an image at the top, congratulations, right? You are done branding your group, and it still looks like every other Facebook page and group because everything is happening under Facebook's umbrella. It is their thing. It is not your thing. Now you might be thinking, well, what big of a deal is it? Well, this could be a biggie. While it might not be a deal breaker for some people, the ability to add your own custom branding to a group you host is really nice to have because again, this is your thing. This is your baby. This is your brainchild. This is even more important if you are a business and you are trying to build let's say a customer community that fits your brand. Okay, that's really important. Now let me show you on the screen right now what a branded community looks like on a community platform. You can see that here. Do you see what I mean? You have branding galore. So this is really fantastic. And also you have the lack of ownership. So on Facebook, again, going back to what I said all along, this is not your thing, okay? At the end of the day, when you build a Facebook group, you don't own it. If you get hacked, you are out of luck. If Facebook decides to shut you down or change its rules, you are at their mercy, okay? And way too many people have spent a lot of time building something on platforms like Facebook or YouTube for that matter, only to find themselves thrown out because of a hack, then trying desperately to get their access back, right? So this is actually a pretty, what we call a systemic risk that you can't really try to build a long-lasting business on somebody else's foundation. And in this case, this is Facebook's foundation. Another disadvantage of Facebook groups is the fact that you have SEO issues. Facebook groups are not searchable. Have you ever tried finding old content in a Facebook group? It's almost impossible. The cascading post with a tool limited search function means that it's really hard to find old posts, conversations, or even posts by keywords. So if you have members who are trying to really, let's say, recollect certain topics, or trying to really get back on a former discussion, they are out of luck, and you are out of luck too, because their inability to access old discussions is going to affect your engagement rates. And if you have a very disengaged audience, they're not going to help you grow your community in the first place. And you need a very engaged community if you are trying to really grow your platform. So having that, so not having a searchable model, content model, as we have currently on Facebook, is not really is not a good thing. Now, one thing for sure, you might be saying, well, there are other ways to search for that content, but the thing is that I'm looking for granularity. Our team, we spent years analyzing this thing, so it's all about granularity. It's all about depth and breadth. Okay, so Facebook was not built originally for online communities. Facebook was built and is still built as a social media. So their priorities are totally different from yours. The last thing you want to really think about when you think about Facebook groups is that it's not really search engine friendly. Your Facebook group won't show up in search engines. This might not be a big deal to people who are searching for a place for an existing community or running a closed membership group. But if you are trying to, let's say you are trying to grow your group and add members, it's pretty annoying that people can't even find your group by searching for it. So it's one of those things where you have to unfortunately always send links. You have to share links with potential members so that they can actually get, like, they can really find the group, because the last thing you want is for them to spend 30 minutes, which they don't have anyway, to search for your group's name. So let's talk about the evaluation here. So when we think about the major disadvantages of Facebook groups, of course, Facebook groups, again, as I said a little earlier, I'm not here to bash Facebook groups. There are some goodies and there are some baddies when it comes to Facebook groups. And so I want to first share with you some of the goodies, some of the pluses. On Facebook groups, you have some basic analytics features. You have a free platform, so nothing to pay. You have lots of people who already have a Facebook, and you have good native mobile apps. So that's kind of cool from an efficiency point of view. What about the cons? And there are a lot of cons. There are a lot of drawbacks. So you have to fight the algorithm. You have limited features. You have too many distractions, as I said today, right? You have poor notification systems. You have privacy issues. You have lack of branding options. I mean, we really think the branding options, the lack of branding options, is really a big thing, because even if you have a startup, you gotta really evolve within a context, within an ecosystem that you control, that is yours. If you spend all those years building something on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or other social network, and something were to happen, you are really toast. Okay, so it's one of those things where you have to really you have to be careful about your ability to scale in terms of branding. And also you have lack of ownership. So this is something really important. And also the fact that you have no control when it comes to SEO. One thing I want to add real fast is that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you are a startup, you are an established business, you are a mid-sized company, or even a nonprofit. Like if you were to start your community, your online community, as a nonprofit to start with, at some point, if you want to convert the nonprofit, community into a profit-oriented community, you're going to have some kind of branding. And with Facebook, you don't have that, because you are sucked into Facebook's own branding, the blue. So everything, even if your color is yellow or red for that matter, Facebook's blue is going to overpower your branding. That's for sure. So what is the strategy here? So I spent the last 10 minutes explaining to you the major drawbacks of Facebook groups. So what is the alternatives? Well, the alternatives actually include membership sites. And we think membership sites are a better option. Why? Because membership sites can solve the problem Facebook groups create, letting you know basically what's happening, letting you not only reach your members, but also build a thriving business around your brand, right? You want to monetize your brand. You want to monetize your ideas. You want to monetize your content. So let me give you some of the things that a dedicated community site will give you that Facebook won't. You have branding options. You have a better content organization. So that's really good. You have better member connections, and you have a clear business platform, and you need that business platform. So when I speak about business platform, what am I talking about? Well, you really have a platform that lets you run a community business so that you can charge for membership. You can build bundles, you can sell in different ways, and easily see what's working and what's not. Facebook is not the place to build a real community business. In terms of better member connections on Facebook, and that's one thing you probably know already, connections between members are limited to comments and messaging. With Facebook's DM, real member engagement comes when you add different ways for members to connect. So you have member profiles, members near you, connection suggestions, and more. And what about content organization? Well, the Facebook wall, in our view, is a terrible way to engage your content, especially when it comes to engaging your content with your followers. A running list of posts is hardly good for community engagement. The right community platform should actually have a discovery feed to show you different types of content and organized posts. And what about branding? I think I've spoken at length about branding to this conversation. Well, you should be building your own brand, not Facebook's. So when you build a private social network, you can. Some platforms even give you your own branded apps. So from a branding perspective, you're really served. So in conclusion here, with a free price tag on Facebook groups, you might be thinking, oh wow, this is really tempting. But think about it. The whole free price tag comes at a cost. In this case, the cost is less member engagement, less privacy, and some users who won't join because of it. That means that the drawbacks of Facebook groups outweigh the advantages that many groups have. Okay, if you are looking for a better alternative, you can actually try private social network platforms to see if maybe they could be work for you. So in closing, to this conversation, I spoke to you about the major disadvantages of Facebook groups. I gave you the considerations, the warnings, the evaluation, the strategy, and now the closing arguments. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.